Chair, for that wonderful question again. When I stepped out of office, Mr. Chair, there was an independent study by the DND about which ano yung factor bakit napaka-successful ng NTF-ELCAC, at yung nangyari dito yung finding, independent study siya, ay yung strategic communications cluster, na ibig sabihin napakahalaga ng information sa ating mga kababayan. Kasi po, sir, ang nangyari doon.
With your indulgence, madam, ang tanong ko lang po is whether you think sa sarili mo ay in accordance with laws, rules, and regulations yung ginagawa po ninyo. Yun lang po ang katanungan ko. Pakisagot lang po yun.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Ang sagot ko po, oo.
Yes. Even when you are no longer connected with NTF-ELCAC.
Yes, Mr. Chair, because this is a whole-of-nation approach.
If I ask you to explain the whole-of-nation approach in all its branches, baka hindi mo masagot. Kaya huwag kang mag-mention ng mga terminologies na 2018 mo lang narinig. Samantalang kami, tinyente pa lang kami, naririnig na namin yan. Okay? Now,
Pwedeng mag-comment, Mr. Chair. Pwedeng mag-comment.
No,
Okay.
I don't think he's asking you to
Mr.
reply
Chair.
to that.
But
Yes.
Unless,
could I
should I
respond?
what?
Could I
Sige na
respond
po.
just
Sige na
to...
po. Ano po mga ano? Kaya nyo ba paliwanag yung kakasabi nyo lang? Kasi kaya nyo paliwanag yun?
Kasi po, Mr. Chair,
Opo.
yun nga yung isa sa driving forces sa akin, Mr. Chair, na napakaraming PNP at saka AFP ang namatay dahil sa CPP at PA-NDF. So tama po si Congressman Acop. Napakatagal na po nito.
Salamat. The Honorable Acop.
thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll not belabor the point. I will go now to Attorney Rolex Soplico.
Yes, sir.
Attorney Rolex, in your answers to the queries of the Honorable Nograles, napansin ko, dadalawa lang yung depensa na ginagamit mo eh. Number one, yung letter na sinasabi po nyo dated June 30, 2022. Tama?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Was this a separate letter for you to ask, according to you, to ask question from the committee? Or this was part of your annual report?
Well, I think it's a separate letter, Your Honor.
No. May I ask COMSEC if this was a separate letter or part of the report submitted by Suarasog?
The Honorable, Attorney Marvick.
Your Honors, the letter referred to by Attorney Suplico and SMNI is part of the document submitted to the committee as their annual report for 2020.
So, per record, Attorney Suplico, this is not a separate letter for you to ask guidance. It was part of your annual report.
Well,
Would you agree now?
Well, I accept.
Yes.
May error, Your Honor.
Number two, I have read your letter. I have it in my hand. Nowhere did you ask any question from the committee. Nowhere. I cannot see you asking a question to the committee. Now, may I know, can you point out to me any part of your letter which you have mentioned, did you ask any question or any guidance from this committee regarding your franchise?
Actually, Your Honor, there was another letter sent to the SEC. However, it was shown
No,
to
no,
me.
no, no. We're
No.
talking
On
about
that
your
particular letter.
communications with this committee. That is the purview of my queries this afternoon, attorney.
Okay, I take responsibility, Your Honor, if ever.
So in
The
other
request
words,
is that
you
we-
are
is not-
admitting that there is no question here.
Well, Your Honor,
If you want, you can read it.
well, it was explained to me that there was a request and we should
And-
wait for the
and
response.
may I
No,
know-
no, no.
may I know who told you that?
Well, members of our staff in the.
Niloko ka
You
ng
want,
staff mo.
we can give him a copy of the letter, then you can read it yourself. I mean, you're the one who
Well, I
furnishes the copy.
I'm sorry. I take the word the gentleman who is my upperclassman
That,
as true, Your
that there
Honor.
was no question.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Yes.
He's an honorable person and I respect him for that.
Thank you, attorney. So in other words, wala po kayong guidance na hiniling sa committee. That is your first defense. Kanina pa dun sa mga tanong ni the Honorable Migs Nograles. So I'm just debunking your defense, Tony. The second defense is that it is also contained in your letter. Binasa ko that you were telling this the committee in your report that like other franchises, dapat mabigyan din kayo ng privilege na yon. Am I correct?
That is correct, Your Honor, because in the franchises of others, there is that particular stipulation on the resort to cooperatives, which a phrase is not found in the franchise of SMNI.
Are you trying to tell this committee na when this Congress would approve the grant of franchises, pare-parehas ang wording? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
No, Your Honor.
Oh, iba-iba. Different franchise,
Bill
different,
drafting,
di ba? Dito sa sulat mo, sinabi mo, Republic Act number 10637, an act granting Cotabato Light and Power Company. It's a different franchise with Suarasog. So why would you compare a pig to a cow? When in fact, Congress takes cognizance of each and every individual application for the grant of franchise.
I thought that the provision
What?
on this...
You thought?
Yes, Your Honor.
You
I
thought
think
it
that
thought-
the...
Ano?
Mr.
You thought?
Mr. Chairman, the provision on the dispersal of ownership applies to all public utilities, which are franchise grantees.
That
They
is your
could be-
assumption.
They could be worded in a different manner. And bill drafting with respect to franchises have evolved so far. And the phrase, resort to cooperatives appear in some of the franchises granted by this committee.
I agree. But will you accept that every franchise application is different from other applications for franchise?
I accept, Your Honor.
Yes. And therefore, you cannot compare a cow with a pig or a carabao with a bird. Tama?
I beg to differ, Your Honor,
Uh,
because of the policy on the dispersal of ownership.
Look, are you trying to tell me that the provision on the dispersal of ownership in your franchise is exactly the same as Republic Act number 10637, 10753?
No, Your Honor. Ours is a broadcast franchise. The others are TU franchises, distribution utility franchises.
Therefore, your argument here is not accepted. Why? Because you are claiming na dapat meron din kayong establishment of cooperatives phrase sa inyong franchise, which Congress did not intend to do so. Otherwise, it would have placed that phrase there if that is the intent of Congress. Tama?
Well, Your Honor, I will
Hindi,
espouse...
tinatanong kita, tama ba?
No, Your Honor, I will
You've
espouse a
been-
different
you've
view, but
been-
I respect the gentleman for it.
You have been a part of this Congress.
For 9 years, Your Honor.
Yes. At alam mo naman na kung gumagawa tayo ng batas, the legislative intent is paramount.
That is correct, Your Honor.
And therefore, if it is not placed there by the Congress, it is not the intent of Congress for you to avail of that provision or phrase. Tama?
But we thought, Your Honor, that
Tama?
this committee could elucidate on the
Tama.
requirement of cooperatives.
Tama? Hindi mo
I think-
sinasagot yung tanong
Well,
ko.
on the, maybe, Your Honor, on the statutory construction principle of verba leges, yes, Your Honor, you may be right.
Yes. Kasi, iba-iba ang trato ng Kongreso sa bawat individual application ng franchise. And I think you know that. They were just arguing like the defense counsel that I expected to. Di ba?
I have no other choice, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much,
Thank you,
Honorable
Your Honor.
Acop. Thank you very much. Before we continue, the chair would like to recognize the Honorable Benvenido Abante Jr. of the 6th District of Manila. Welcome, sir. Another media practitioner. Hindi lang po congressman yan, media practitioner, pastor pa, kaya lahat. Kayang-kaya niya. Okay. Yan po ang bishop namin dito sa
Hindi
Congress.
pa rin
The answer manifestation of Mr. Celes is out of order. He is out of order because you cannot dictate in this house and you cannot move. Only members of you ask members of this house.
Yes, I am explaining, sir.
No,
I am not moving.
no, your manifestation is out of order.
I am
Do
requesting.
not picture us
No, I am
about
not
the rules
lecturing.
of this
I am
committee
standing
and
up for my right.
Mr.
I am standing up for my right.
remember, we might cite you in contempt.
And so be it,
Kaya,
Your Honor.
You challenge us?
Yes, if
What's
that
the
will
question?
be sin in the nation na walang karapatan ang mga invited guests dito na magpahayag, Your Honor, with due respect to you.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Seman,
Mr. Chair,
I'm out of order. And what's the position of the chair?
Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair,
Mr.
Mr.
Chairman,
Chair,
sandali lang po.
Mr. Chairman.
Eric,
may I explain why
yes, the Honorable Acop is recognized and I understand yung sinasabi po ng ating mga ng ating bisita. Pero alam po ninyo, kung ang ginagamit niyo po ay yung hearing nung huli at wala kayong representasyon, hindi po namin kasalanan. Kasalanan po ng mga abogado ng SMNI dahil sila mismo on record ang nagsabi na they are here to represent SMNI and not the anchors because dumistansya nga ho sila. Ang sabi nila, hindi po namin trabaho ang bigyan ng representasyon ang angkor. That's why nung humingi po kayo, ang pinaliwanag ko, hindi ho pwede sila magdepensa sa inyo. Dapat ho humingi kayo ng iba. Dahil hindi ho pwede sila ang magdepensa because they are on record. Under oath, ang sabi nila, kami ay abogado ng SMNI at hindi kami abogado ng mga angkor. Klaro po yan, Kyrick.
Your Honor, if I may please.
You cannot. You're not allowed. I'm going, yes.
to explain why I cite him out of order. Because he manifested that the previous records, it is taken out of records and as resource person, they are not allowed. For
Your Honor, I am
Please,
going to be
I am
detained
still
in this
speaking.
chamber and I
I
am
am-
submitting myself before the country in protest. My
Mr. Chair,
point of order, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Mr. Chair,
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
order.
Mr. Chairman,
Okay. Pauline. Okay. There's a point of order, the Honorable Dan Fernandez. The Honorable Dan.
Mr. Chairman, point of, Mr. Chairman.
out of order is all about your manifestation to straighten out. Patapusin mo ako.
The Honorable.
Huwag ka may bastos. Patapusin mo ako. Mr. Chairman, I will just like to correct. I am not stopping him to issue statement. What I'm saying is, and what I'm pointing out of order is the manifestation that the previous statement and the previous record should be taken out of order.
Mr.
And
Chairman,
Mr.
Mr. Chairman.
allowed to do it.
Point of order.
Honorable Dan Fernandez. Point of order.
May we remind the resource speakers and the members of this committee to observe the proper decorum.
Correct.
If the chairman acknowledge a certain personality, let him speak and
Yes.
don't interrupt
Correct.
the members of this committee while
Correct.
the member is given the right to speak. Maraming salamat po, Mr.
Thank you,
Chairman.
the Honorable
Chair.
Dan Fernandez. Honorable Acop is recognized.
Mr. Celis, please be reminded that in this committee and this house, we have
Mr.
rules
Celis.
to follow. Hindi po ba namin sinusunod yung mga rules? Matanong ko nga po.
Yes, sir. I feel that
and
is my...
I would like to remind you
Mm.
that these rules are supposed to be followed by members of this committee and by the witnesses or resource persons to be present. And one of this rule is that before you can speak, you ask permission from the chairman. Kami nga, hindi kami nagsasalita na walang permission yung chairman. You better follow that rule. Otherwise, baka mapilitan akong gawin yung hindi ko dapat gawin. Thank you.
The Honorable,
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Chair,
wait, I think, the Honorable Ace Barbers.
I was raising a point of order earlier, but
I'm
Congressman
sorry, I
Acop-
didn't hear you that.
It's
well.
okay,
My
Mr.
apologies.
Chairman. Mr. Chairman, kasi gusto ko lang i-refresh yung memory ng ating resource person na no one is curtailing your right. In fact, kaya ka nga nandito, binibigyan ka ng panahon, ng oras para magsalita. But do not play to the crowd saying that your rights are violated in this committee. It's not. Tayo ay nasa demokrasya, di ba? I believe you were former member of the NPA. Di ba? And alam mo kung ano yung pinaglalaban natin dito, di ba? So, never, ever insult the committee, much more any of the members of this committee. Kasi medyo yun ang affront. Yun ang affront sa amin. And do not challenge us to do what we feel is right to do to you. Because you might not like it. I am just going to remind him of that, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
The Honorable Ace Barbers. Any
Mr.
other
Chair.
member that would like to speak?
I believe that this is an aid or an inquiry in aid of legislation, and resource persons should be reminded that they should observe proper
Correct.
decorum. I'd just like to remind all the resource persons that under Section 11, this inquiry, or for that matter, Congress has the power to contempt. The committee may punish any person for contempt by a vote of 2/3 of the members present, there being a quorum. And there are 6 grounds for contempt. One of which is letter E, acting in a disrespectful manner towards any member of the committee or any misbehavior in the presence of the committee. So, Mr. Chair, we do not want to cite a resource person for contempt. Kaya nakikiusap kami sa iyo, ka Eric, na kung pwede, please respect this committee and observe proper decorum. Nasa rules po natin na you cannot speak if you are not recognized by the chair. Actually, naka-strike 1 na po kayo, ka Eric. Kanina, you were not recognized by the chair, but you kept on talking. So again, may I advise Ka Eric, we are not suppressing your rights, but also respect this committee and observe proper decorum.
thank you very much. Mr. Chair, if I may continue.
There was a question raised by the Honorable Suarez. Alam po ninyo, Ka Eric, kung meron po kayong karapatan, may karapatan din pong committee. Lahat po tayo may karapatan dito. So, ang tanong ho, yes or no? May tanong ho si Congressman J.J. Suarez. Huwag na ho natin pahabain. Yes or no?
I will refuse to answer, Your Honors, not because I disrespect this committee, but I will invoke my right guaranteed by the Constitution because I believe this committee cannot be above the law, especially the Constitution. Mr.
Can I just
The Honorable
Mr. Chair,
J.J. Suarez.
Yes. What right is that you are invoking, Mr. Sally?
The Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights guarantees me for the guarantee of due process and even the Soto law and even the House rules.
Yes.
Constitutionally guaranteed rights, Your Honor, Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman, cannot
Mr.
be violated by any branch of the government.
Ka Eric, may katanungan. Is that
Mr.
clear?
Mr.
Alam po ninyo, Ka Eric, meron ba kayo kasamang abogado na yun?
May I answer?
Opo.
That's why I am requesting since last hearing that I may be given the counsel. Now,
Alam po
I will
ninyo,
hire,
alam mo, if you keep going back last year, ang tanong ko na yun.
I will hire
Wag-
Attorney Mark Tolentino and Attorney Rolex Soplico as my personal choice
Okay.
to do
So,
legal counsel. for
everything
me.
that you say now is guided by your lawyer, who's also here.
Not yet, sir, because they are not, Mr. Chairman, permitted and granted authority to be recognized as my legal counsel. That's why I'm requesting. I'm hiring today, this afternoon, Attorney Mark Tolentino and Attorney Roy Soplico.
Are the lawyers accepting that mandate? Because you remember, in the last hearing, you manifested that you are not representing Eric and the anchors because of the disclaimer issue. Are you accepting?
I'm accepting, Your Honor.
Attorney Rolex Suplico.
I am accepting, Your Honor.
Okay, so thank you very much. So everything that will be said, go, no ka Eric, may abogado na po kayo. Yes or no?
May I request again,
Yes.
Congressman Honorable J.G. Suarez to rephrase the question,
Ayun.
please.
Now with the presence of your lawyer, it's just a little bit ironic that in the past few days you've been on air talking about the hearing, talking about your opinions on about the hearing, and together with Attorney Mark Tolentino, I think there was a few episodes na magkasama pa kayong dalawa. So you're very vocal and you're very opinionated about your position. And last hearing, I just want to remind you, you apologized to the committee because the statements that you issued in your show, kasama ang bayan, tama po ba yun?
Yes, Your
Laban
Honor.
kasama ang bayan. Humingi ka man ng paumanhin dahil yung sinabi mong 1.8 billion ay walang katotohanan. Inamin nyo yun. Ngayon, sinabi mo, ang source mo ay galing sa Kongreso. Sinabi ko mula sa House of Representatives, ang sabi nyo po ay hindi po House. Dalawa po yung House, Congress at Senate. Sinabi nyo, kinonfirm nyo na lalaki na taga-Senado. Ngayon po, naglabas na po ng statement, mismong Senate President na ang nagsasabi, hindi na ito nanggagaling sa amin, although I am pressing hard that I want you to reveal that source because we want to find out the truth. Mr. Celis, the truth, and nothing is more important than the truth. So I'm asking you nicely, who is your source?
May I qualify, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, may I be allowed to speak?
Yes, but before that, I'd like to remind you and the lawyers that under Section 13, the participation of counsel in this hearing for the witness during the hearing and while the witness is testifying shall be limited to advising the legal rights of the witness. Is that clear, Attorney Tolentino and Attorney Suplico?
Yes,
Okay,
Your Honor.
that will only limited to that. Wala ho tayong coaching dito, ha? Yes. Eric.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the recognition.
Mr. Chair.
Congressman Suarez, sir.
Please answer straight
Yeah.
directly, ha? Wala ho tayong paligoy-ligoy na sagot ho dito.
Mr. Chair, can I something?
Okay.
Can I say something
Yes.
before you?
Point of order.
Yeah. No,
Go ahead.
no.
Please.
Just want to be enlightened. What is your decision regarding the prior motion made by Congressman Paduano on?
Well, the
There's a
motion was
motion, there's a
point of
motion.
order.
No.
He only made the point of order. So he was declaring him out
Thank
of
you.
order.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, proceed. Yes or no?
Yeah, thank you po, Mr. Chairman.
Please answer directly, ha? Huwag mo tayo masyadong
I
lumayo.
will not answer it because I am protected by law as per advice in conference with my lawyers here. I am protected by the Soto law. Unless the Soto law is repealed, I will be under the protection of the Soto law. Republic Act number 53.
Mr. Chair. Okay.
And the previous statements made, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, please, were made without the competent advice of legal counsel. That's why I was requesting humbly for this honorable committee chaired by Congressman Tambunting that all those testimonies regarding the testimonies I made here can be stricken off the record if it may be considered as a request. Because those are inadmissible.
Ang tanong po, alam nyo, lagi nyo sinasabi Soto Law eh. Ano pong portion ng Soto Law ang tinutukoy ho nyo? Anong particular provision sa Soto Law? Pakibasa po.
I will, Mr. Chairman, I will request my counsel to give me the particular provision, or they may be allowed to reference the particular
No, we are
provision.
requesting you.
I don't have the copy of the SOTO.
Then I will suggest that the council give him a
Yeah.
copy of the Soto Law.